We are rolling right into our next panel. We have our next panelists already up and ready for action. All right. Just as a reminder for anyone who's just joining, the Q&A button is open. You should see a Q&A down below. I do have some questions that were submitted earlier from the prior panel, so I'll aim to get them into the sessions, either this session or the next session. We have new panels every half hour, and we're going to be doing a world premiere of the F the Fairy Tale book trailer at the top of this hour. So, woo! I know, very exciting. As I said at the top of the hour, these are all the panelists that you see today. These are my friends. These are the folks that I go to for dating and relationship advice. These are people who've been on my podcast, who've collaborated with me, who've shared clients with me, who shared stories, shared tears, shared drinks, shared so many things, shared French fries. So with that, I will introduce my first guest. We share a love of French fries and so many other things. My dear friend Francesca Hogi, she is known as the True Love Emissary. Get this, y'all. She is a corporate lawyer turned matchmaker turned coach turned love coach. She is a TEDx speaker. In fact, her TEDx talk, her TED talk, not TEDx. She's a TED speaker, TED big stage speaker. She her first TED talk is going to be released tomorrow, Friday, the 8th of December. So we're so excited for her to share that. She's a host of the Dear Franny podcast. She's been on the Today Show many, many times, Marie Claire, the New York Times, Harper's Bazaar, and the Huffington Post. She is the founder of True Love Society. And you might also recognize her. If you are a fan of Survivor, you might recognize her from that. Please help me welcome in Francesca Hogi.
Hi, Damona. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for that amazing introduction.
Thank you so much for being here. And we also have the amazing Arielle Ford. Now, you guys, there's so much on Arielle's bio that I'm like, there's so much I want to tell you. I'm just going to give you a few of the highlights, but just trust me, there's more, because she has been a leading personality in the personal growth and contemporary spirituality movement for so long. She is a celebrated love and relationship expert. She's the co-creator and host of Evolving Wisdom's Art of Love series. She was actually a book publicist for many years, and she helped launch the careers of many New York Times best-selling self-help authors. A few people you might know, like Deepak Chopra, Jack Canfield, Don Miguel Ruiz of the Four Agreements, Debbie Ford. She's also worked with Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Gary Zukav. I mean, if that wasn't enough, she's also the author of 11 books, including the international bestseller, The Soulmate Secret, Manifest the Love of Your Life with the Law of Attraction. It's published in 21 languages in 40 countries, no big deal. She's written Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate. She's written Wabi Sabi Love. She's done, I have her Inspirations coloring book. It's like an adult coloring book to manifest your soulmate. It's amazing. I've read her new novel, The Love Thief. You guys, I can't believe she's here. She's the real deal. Please welcome Arielle Ford.
Thank you, Damona, and congratulations on this fabulous book. I know people are just going to go crazy for it.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. I've really put a lot of love into it and a lot of advice. So let's get into it with the second of the 4 love myths. If anyone's just coming in right now, I've separated the book into 4 myths and then replaced the myths with 4 pillars. So we're each half hour, we're going to talk about the various myths. Right now, we're going to talk about the rules myth. Now, I define the rules myth as the rules myth is, gosh, there's just been so many books and there's so many TikTok videos, and there's so much out there about this is the way to do it. This is the way that find love. There's so much prescriptive advice. And I'm really more about helping people develop their own rules and their own strategies to be able to chart their own path to love. So I want to unpack that a little bit because Arielle, you've been in this business for a long time. You've written many books yourself. Do you think, I'm not talking about the rules, the book specifically, but do you think that the rules work or rules work in love?
Wow, that's a big one. Here's what I think. I think people first need to understand what love is. Most people have no idea what love is. They think love is a feeling. I know I love you because it feels like there's champagne bubbles going through my veins, and I'm just like so swept away, and I have butterflies in my stomach. And what that is, the state that we call being in love, is actually nature's greatest drug high. It's your brain on drugs, on oxytocin and adrenaline and dopamine and serotonin. But it's not what love is. Real mature adult love, and people are going to hate me for this, but what real mature adult love is a behavior. It's a choice. It's a decision. It's an action. It's a way of being. And when you're with your beloved longtime partner, best friend, your person, there will be days when you don't like them very much. In fact, you may hate them, but it doesn't mean that you don't love them. So I think it's really important that people come to understand what love is in the process of dating and picking somebody to spend the rest of your life with.
Ooh, that's a tall order, Arielle. That's a tall order. But Franny, you are the true love emissary. What are your thoughts on how to do that, and also, any thoughts you have about dating by rules?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's understandable that, dating it's complicated, it's triggering of our deepest insecurities, our deepest desires, our deepest fears. And so it is natural that people want a really specific set of rules that they can follow it feels like it's going to take some of that uncertainty out of the process. However, generally speaking, I am not a fan of rules. I mean, I'm a believer in having your own personal rules, your own personal, principles, your own personal guidelines, knowing your own values and all of that going into dating. But in terms of behavior and navigating dating by a lot of rules, that tends to really just put the focus on the wrong thing. So Arielle, actually what you just said about love and really understanding what love is, that it's a verb, it's how you treat people. It also goes into the desire to be in a relationship, because if you are following a lot of quote unquote rules and you're more focused on that than you are on making sure, am I showing up with authenticity? Am I letting myself be seen? Am I really seeing someone for who they are? That is going to kind of take a back seat to, a quote unquote rule. And those rules are not necessarily going to lead you into a loving relationship. So if the goal is to get into a loving relationship where you are both actively treating each other with love, then it's not about rules. It's about really understanding how to recognize and how to co-create that type of dynamic with someone, starting with the dating process, and really using that process as a way to develop more love skills. So not gaming, but like love skills that are actually going to serve you in your future relationship.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that. I'm curious, Arielle, when we are talking about the rules or whatever, even let's just say we're talking about our rules, and we look at the current landscape of dating, and you've been in this business a very, very long time. Overall, do you feel like the rules have shifted, or even if we take it away from the word, the rules, do you think that relationships are intrinsically different today than maybe they were 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I met my husband, or, more years ago when my parents met? How have you seen it evolve?
Well, I think now there's more information out there. There's more love coaches out there. There's more ways to understand what makes a great long-term committed monogamous marriage or partnership, which I don't think was available that long ago. So for me, it's really about knowing that everybody pretty much wants the same thing. We all want to be loved and accepted and appreciated for who we are. We want to be with somebody who will be our best friend, our lover, our protector, somebody who has our back. And most importantly, we want to find somebody that we feel emotionally and physically safe with. And you can't do that based on attraction. Oh God, he's so hot, she's so hot, I feel all this excitement. That is not an indicator that you could have an excellent relationship with somebody, which is why dating is so important, which is why it's really important that you give people a chance. You just don't swipe to the next picture. He's cute, she's cute, he's not. You're leaving all this gold on the table when you're swiping so quickly. So remembering that ultimately what you're looking for, and I know you talk about this in your book, Damona, values. Do you have somebody that you can have this, you share the same values, you have a shared vision for a life, for the same kind of life together, that you want the same things, and that this is a person that you can trust your life with, that you can wake up every morning and know that the person lying next to you has your back, that they have, oh my goodness, sorry. So what this little thing that just went off is, it's 444. And every day at 444, my husband and I shout across the house to each other, I love you. Because for us, 444 means that God loves us. So every day at 444, the little thing goes off, which is another great thing to have with your partner, to have these little rituals that only the two of you know about, that really bind you together, that really make it your safe place to be.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love and the angel numbers and everything. That's a beautiful practice. And it kind of reinforces this idea that I have in F the Fairy Tale about, you get to rewrite the rules for yourself. You get to chart your own path, and you get to do it also when you're with a partner. You get to make those rules together. And rules or rituals, as you say. And I think that's so much better than it used to be. And I think there's so much opportunity, but we have so many questions. I think I'm just going to jump right into questions, because I could talk about the rules and the tools and the rituals all day. But there was actually one question that was submitted, Arielle, before in the forum before we started. And I really wanted to ask you this, because I do have a chapter called The Soulmate Myth. And somebody asked, do soulmates exist? I believe we have a few, with one special one. This is from Jacqueline, if you're here listening, Jacqueline. Do we hold out for that one special one, or just be happy with someone that is a good person? I was with someone, but attraction was non-existent after 23 years, and it dwindles after a few months, in truth. But he was good for me, in quotes. Now we have 3 amazing, almost grown kids, and I'm thinking of what I want now, and I'm confused. Now, Arielle, you have written an international bestseller called The Soulmate Secret: Manifest the Love of Your Life with the Law of Attraction. What do you say to Jacqueline and her question about the existence of soulmates, and what to do about this dwindling attraction that she feels?
Okay, so my definition of a soulmate is that it's first and foremost somebody you can completely be yourself with, somebody with whom you share unconditional love. And when you look into their eyes, you have the experience of being home. And if you accept that definition, then the truth is we all already have many, many soulmates. It could be our kids, our siblings, our parents, our coworkers, our best friends, even our cats and our dogs fit into that definition. So I firmly believe there's no shortage of love in the world. There's no shortage of potential soulmates, right? Because there's lots of people you can have those feelings with. And after 23 years, things do change. And then, we're adults, we're mature adults here. We get to choose. I have 23-year history with somebody who's good to me, who I have good experiences with. And yes, maybe there's this part of me that's, would like the excitement of, hot young love. Am I willing to give up 23 years of building a life with somebody. And that's a decision only one person can make. And if you decide to leave that person, it doesn't mean they weren't your soulmate. And we can all have many soulmates in a lifetime. This whole thing that we each only get one big love in a lifetime, it's just a big fat lie. It's not true. And even if you're with somebody for many years and you have kids and somebody cheats and you get divorced, it doesn't mean they weren't your soulmate. It just means that sometimes soulmate relationships come with an expiration date.
I love that answer. And I agree. I mean, I knew because I've read your book, I knew that you believed that. And I wanted to clarify for anyone that is staying through the panels to see the soulmate myth that we are completely aligned in that. The soulmate myth, when I say that, I mean the idea that there's only one, we're looking for just one, and the person in front of us, we're always guessing, is this, wait, is good, but is this my soulmate? So thank you for clarifying that. And also for reminding us, we get to create that magic too. Like I've been with my husband 20 years, I can't believe it. Since I was 4, no, I'm kidding. But in 20 years, I don't feel that the attraction has dwindled because I really make an effort to also continue I take responsibility for my part of maintaining that soulmate connection and continuing to show up and invest in him and receive that love in return. But I agree with you. It's not always, sometimes it's not right. And like you said, that doesn't mean that it's a waste. But it also doesn't mean you should stay in it if you're not getting your needs met. Franny, girl, we have a lot of questions. So, I know you've helped people with dating apps. You've worked with Bumble. You've worked with many dating apps for a long time. An anonymous attendee asks, what are good options to meet people other than dating apps?
Ooh, I love this question. I teach what I call the meet cute mindset. So the meet cute, right, that's the moment in the love story when the two love interests first meet. And that's really just meeting, right? And so often, especially nowadays, we assume and we think that dating means you have to be on a dating app and that's the only way to meet someone. And I'm very focused on really getting people to a place where you are of the mindset that every time you leave your house, you have the potential to meet someone special. And that's a state of mind and that's an intention that if you let it guide you, then you will encounter people to potentially date. Now, that also comes to the next question, which is, what do you do when you go somewhere and you see somebody who looks interesting to you, intriguing to you, attractive to you? And if the answer is, well, I don't do anything, or that never happens, then it's like, okay, well, let's get some strategy around how can you be more comfortable flirting? How can you get into a mindset where you're not looking for like instant attraction? You're not looking for somebody who's so hot you just want to, jump on them, versus taking a step back and practicing, well, am I willing to understand that I'm a co-creator of chemistry? And, realizing things like making eye contact, having, starting conversations, being comfortable with that as you move through the world is to me more important than like going to specific places just to meet someone. Because another thing is that if you go places just to meet someone, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to this bar, this event, I hope I meet someone. I want you to have that mindset of like, I have that potential to meet someone, but also to know that like, if you go places where you enjoy being, like if there are things that are interesting to you, if you're like, oh, I would love to go see that art exhibit, like follow that intuition, follow that inspiration, and take with you to that place and everywhere else you go, this intention and this larger mindset of that you are open to connecting. So if you do that, then you will find that you will start to meet people more organically, and it won't be such a question of like, how do I meet someone, or where do I go? Because you understand that wherever you go, you're bringing your magic, and wherever you are encountering other people, there is a potential for you to make a great connection.
So true. And y'all, Franny makes a lot of magic. She also does a lot with manifestation, as does Arielle. Franny, can you tell us also, you walk the talk that you just said, can you tell everyone a brief version of the story? Some people have heard it on the Dates and Mates podcast when you shared it with me before, but can you give us a brief synopsis of how you met your current partner?
Yes. So this meet cute mindset is something that I developed for myself when I was single. I decided to challenge myself to see if I could move through the world in a way where could organically meet men to date, because that was something that used to not happen for me. So I came up with this mantra: every time I leave my house, I have the potential to meet someone special. And that changed my behavior, and it also activated the universe. And I did wind up meeting my partner walking down the street in LA. We met on the corner of Sunset Boulevard and Doheny. And it was a whole crazy set of circumstances that even led, the both of us to be on that corner at that time. And by the way, it wasn't like love at first sight, but there was to me something about him that I was like, this person seems interesting. I feel like I'm supposed to just keep talking to him. So I really do walk my walk or walk my talk. And it did work. And that was 6 years ago. And, he's amazing. We have an incredible life together. So I just want to, thank you for giving me an opportunity to tell that story.
Yes, I love the story. I love you two together. And I love that you're teaching people how to do that same process for themselves. Arielle, I'm going to go back to you with a question from anonymous attendee. Let's see, where did it go? Okay. Someone said to me recently, make your life full. Not everyone finds a partner. I felt hopeless after that, and I wonder if I should accept that or keep trying. In the meantime, I do things that I love. What do you say to this person, Arielle?
First of all, I have to just tell Franny, I used to live on Doheny and Sunset.
You two could have met too.
Yeah, 999 North Doheny. That's so funny. So listen, there's no shortage of love in the world. Okay, there are 8 billion people alive today. Half of them are single. You are constantly walking past and bumping into potential partners all the time if you're paying attention. So, what we don't get to choose as manifestors, we know this. We get to place our order with the universe. We don't get to set the time. There's a thing called divine timing that sets it up. So staying open, willing, available, and visible to love is really the key mindset to have, and to be totally living in the now moment, that in this moment, I have everything that I need. In this moment, I have enough love. I have enough clean air to breathe, enough fresh water to drink, enough friends, enough abundance, and keep living in the abundance mindset, knowing and trusting that what you've asked for is already yours. And I just want to take 1 minute to talk about the quantum science of love. Okay, so in quantum science, we know a couple of things. The first thing we know is that there is no time. There's no past. There's no future. There is just this now moment. The other thing that we know is that we are already connected to everything and everybody. In the matrix, in the divine matrix, in the unified field, we are already connected to everything and everybody, which means that you are already at the heart level connected to your beloved. You don't know their name, you don't know where they are, you don't know the time and place that you're going to meet in the 3D world, but you can start the relationship right now in this moment. You can send out a golden cord of light into the field, into the heart of this person whose name you don't know, and start the relationship today, so that you're constantly living in the knowingness that you already have this love. Love is not missing. As long as you're living in the mindset, oh, I'm so alone, I have no love, all you're going to do is keep creating the field of no love. And I know this is slippery stuff. It's hard to hold on to. I've been teaching this stuff for 30 years, and I still remind myself of it every day. But this is a process I call love before first sight. And when I met my husband 26 years ago, I had been doing this process for myself. I had, for 6 months, every single day, sitting at my love altar at sunset, listening to Gregorian chants, connecting on a heart level with him. And on the day that we met in the 3D world, I knew, he knew, and everybody in the room knew, because the relationship had already begun.
Wow, that's very powerful. And it breaks my brain a tiny bit. I'll be honest. Some of the quantum stuff, I get it. Franny and I have had these conversations too. But I definitely have seen the results of just manifestation in terms of really having a clear focus on what your what the path that you're on in life and the person that you're sort of calling in to your life. I think we have time for maybe one more quick question. And for those who are just popping in, there's a Q&A button at the bottom. Please put all your questions in there, and then I can give them to our panelists. Okay, there are so many questions. It's hard to choose. I'm trying to get through as many. My question is about, this is from Rana. My question is about dating in midlife. I'm being more intentional with my dating now, and I'm struggling to find a compatible man around my age who is active and fit. Do you have some advice for me with this dating challenge? Franny, do you have some advice with, is it a dating challenge? It's all in how we look at it, right?
I mean, look, I have so much to say. I'm like looking at the time and I'm like, okay, don't say everything. I think this actually is a good follow-up question to the last question, because ultimately it's about, I have a vision for the relationship that I want to have. I have this desire in my heart for partnership, and I'm questioning whether or not this is possible for me, right? And so that is ultimately, it's a totally reasonable question, but I believe that the answer is always yes. And so it's really a matter of getting yourself in a place where, are you going to find like a bunch of 50-year-old men who are, check all these boxes? Probably not, but that's always going to be the case regardless of your age. It's never, I mean, I've worked with people in their 70s, I've worked with people in their 20s, and everywhere in between. And anybody who is looking for a real true love, connected relationship, it's never like, oh my God, I've got so many options and I don't know which one to pick, right? So I would just encourage you to know that the love that you want in your heart, that you are being called to have with another person, that desire is not there for no reason. And to just know that you don't need to have 100 options on an app that are that check every box. It's really just knowing that, like Arielle was saying, like, you just haven't met this person yet, but to really get very, to build your confidence and your belief that the love that you want is on its way to you and you're on its way to it. And so it's just a matter of like, forget about the demographics, forget about how many people are on the apps or not. Do you believe in a universe where your ability to have love is dependent on an algorithm? And I personally don't believe that I don't believe that's the case. I believe that you can always have it. You can always find it. So just to be a little bit less focused on thinking that if I meet somebody who is fit and they do this and they do that, that's going to be compatibility, and start to expand what you're even prioritizing. And really think more about, what is the relationship that I want to have? What are the dynamics that I want to share with that person? And really start from that point versus being so focused on, do they have the same activities as me and all of that? And I'm not saying it doesn't mean that you don't get to be with somebody who's active, but also maybe it means that you're going to be with somebody who's going to get active because he loves you and you're like, hey, let's go for a hike. And then he goes for, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll stop
I
there.
agree with you 100%. And I wish we had all night just for you and I to talk. We have more panels coming up. I will just co-sign that really quick because I do yoga, and I was like, I need to find a guy who does yoga, which is like 4 guys. And then I realized my co-coach Yogi Marquise, he does yoga, but I realized that really wasn't what I was saying. Like sometimes it's in we're clarifying what we're actually saying. No, I want somebody that creates the space for me to still do the things that I love, who I'm also attracted to, who also has a similar worldview. And we'll talk about pillars later. But I just want to thank you all thank you both for being here. Oh, really quickly, there were a couple questions that popped up, Arielle, about the love skills. Can you just explain what you mean by that real quick before you go?
What love skills? Which?
I mentioned love skills.
Oh, it's Franny. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
I
love
was saying,
skills.
yeah, well, I'm saying dating skills are love skills, right?
Yeah.
So the ability to, and so if you can approach dating, really embracing the process of dating, like, and not being so attached to each individual outcome, but recognizing like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to practice showing up with authenticity, allowing myself to be seen, seeing somebody else for who they really are, to be caring, to be vulnerable, to learn how to receive, to learn how to compromise, like all of the things that all those skills that really get tested in dating, those are skills that are going to serve you for the rest of your love life. So to really embrace the process of dating, understanding that, and not to just do it in, without end and not have any intention behind it, but to have the intention of understanding, like, every date that I go on, I have an ability to actually grow stronger in my ability to be loving.
I would
Towards
add two
myself
things. I
and
would
other
add two
people.
things to that. Those are great, Franny. Curiosity and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, like, really get excited for whatever it is they're sharing, even if it's totally foreign to you. Curiosity, enthusiasm, and all of that will, make you irresistible.
Yes. Yes. And
100%.
flirting is a skill you need forever. So, like, get good at it while you're dating, because you're going to need it in your relationship going forward too.
Yes, 100%. And you can read about curiosity and enthusiasm in F the Fairy Tale, which, by the way, we're going to do in a sec. We're going to actually do the premiere of the trailer. But first, I just want to tell you about some awesome gifts that our panelists are giving to you. Arielle Ford has the online dating guide. If your heart's desire is to manifest the love of your life, we've been talking about manifesting this whole half hour. This is how you can make it happen. You can download her free guide. When you get the replay, you will also get access to her free gift and all of the other free gifts. And then Franny has the True Love Society community membership. You can have free membership in her community for single women who refuse to settle in love or life. You can join her for monthly Q&As, a library of self-love and dating resources, a supportive community, and so much more. And don't forget, her TED Talk is going to be released tomorrow. So that's on Friday the 8th. And it's all about transcending the fairy tale industrial complex. So you're seeing this word fairy tale come up again. Franny, I can't wait for that. Arielle, thank you so much for being here. Happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate.
Hanukkah.
I'll be lighting the candles later, but thank you. I'm lighting the candles along with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations on the book, Demona.
Yeah.
Everyone is so lucky that you wrote it.
Thank you.
Okay, I got to go find the dreidels. Thank you for having me. It was great to be with you all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to roll into the next panel in just a minute, but as promised, hot off the presses, we have the book trailer of F the Fairy Tale. I'm so proud to share it with you. It's just 1 minute long, and then I will introduce our panelists for the next segment. I hope you enjoy the F the Fairy Tale book trailer.
Dating today is effed. From ghosting and swipe fatigue to the texting trap, the idea of fairy tale romance has faded. I know this because for nearly 20 years, I've studied online dating and worked behind the scenes at the biggest dating apps in the world. You may have even seen my work on TV.
Our resident dating expert, Demona Hoffman, and Drew Kruer, who is my very, very good friend.
Or in magazines. But what I'm most passionate about is helping real people understand what's really happening in modern love. Even with the complexity of the current dating scene, you can still live your own love story. But it's time to bust the myths and ditch our outdated thinking. It's not your fault that you've been holding on to these broken beliefs. Rom-coms and romance novels have told us that we should feel butterflies when we meet our person. But those butterflies may actually be warning signs that we're reading all wrong. We must shift away from myths, lists, and rules because we're on the brink of a new relationship paradigm, one that's driven by the real pillars of love. The lead character of your love story deserves a happily ever after. And now you get to create it.
I hope you all enjoyed that little sneak peek at what you get inside F the Fairy Tale. By the way, I have to mention that we're doing a pre-order giveaway that my publisher said is the biggest giveaway they've ever done for a book. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what's inside. First of all, you saw Drew Barrymore in the trailer there. I work as the official love expert of that show. I'm in the Drew crew. And we're going to be giving away 2 VIP tickets to come and see Drew live and in person and watch a taping right there on the floor, right next to Drew. And it is, I've been working in television for over a decade. And I have to tell you, this is the most fun show you will ever go to. It is such a riot. You never know what's going to happen. And Drew is every bit as delightful as she seems on TV. You also could win a $500 travel voucher, and that can go to New York or anywhere you want to go. You can win a $500 shopping spree courtesy of Democracy Clothing. It just so happens I'm wearing my Democracy dress, but they make amazing jeans as well. And for 39 people, I know it's kind of a weird number, 39 people will also win a membership to OkCupid for 3 months, a premium membership. So you get all the bells and whistles of OkCupid for free. So if you're interested in being in the running to win one of those prizes or all of those prizes, make sure you go to damonahoffman.com/giveaway. You pre-order the book anytime between now and when the book is out, January 2nd, submit your receipt and you'll be entered for a chance to win that giveaway, which is pretty darn amazing.